Hi, I got a couple experts in studio, especially one. Joining me now is current Missouri State Representative Cheri Reisch from Mid-Missouri.
Thank you for having me today. I appreciate it.
And Cheri, tell me quickly, what's your state representative district? What does it encompass?
So it's mostly Boone County where I live, and then it's part of Randolph also.
Oh, good Lord, you're from the People's Republic of Boone, huh?
Yes, no, I love Boone. We've been there over 200 years. I'm sixth generation.
Yeah,
Boone
I'm only
County
making fun of that because of some of the lefties at the university there. But yes, I would say, but for that little island that can be the little island of insanity sometimes, the people of Boone are basically those people that President Obama trashed so much in the last election. All you gun clinging, Bible clinging, gun toting people out there in Middle Missouri.
That would be me. I am a Bible thumping NRA card carrying member, and they told me I was the coolest mayor in the country.
Yeah, so I learned something today. I learned a couple things from your flyer here. That you've been a lady leader your whole life. You're former mayor of Hallsville, Missouri.
I was elected there for 4 years, and I've been a Republican since Ronald Reagan. Jimmy Carter turned me into a Republican.
Well, God bless you. And you were on an economic development board out there. That's funny. You were on an economic development board out there. And something else, I asked you, what the heck is a Mizzou founding family? You have that on your flyer, too.
Yeah, so my family was one of the many that put in at least $100 or more to get the University of Missouri flagship university at that time in 1839. So we were thinking forward on education and higher ed, and we wanted it right smack dab in the middle of the state of Missouri.
So there were people in mid-Missouri in 1839.
My family came here in 1815 before Missouri was a state.
Oh my gosh. So you guys like you literally founded the state of Missouri.
Sort of, kind of.
I'll say that for you. Yeah, how's that? Well, why shouldn't you be a state representative? I mean, so you're I've been out for 4 years now, which seems like an eternity. So I lose track of things. And I've gotten to know you really well the last few years, but you'll have to remind me. Are you finishing up your freshman term, going into your sophomore?
Yes, so this is my first 2-year term, and I plan to be here for the long haul to term out in 8 years total. And as a freshman, I got 4 laws passed this year. I'm very excited.
Let me ask you, did you make a good decision, not only for yourself, but your constituents, your family, your friends? Have you enjoyed being a state rep?
Absolutely. I love helping people and serving the public. I've been in public service my entire life.
And wait a minute, 4 bills? Boy, leadership must have really impressed them, because that is unusual for a freshman representative to have so many legislative accomplishments in their first term.
Well, and I work hard and I never sleep, and I'm going to continue to work hard for my district and my constituents.
Well, you brought another fine member of your family here. Your nephew, you said by marriage, but he looks like he's related. You got a lot of family resemblances here, but Erik Anthes joins us also in studio, nephew Erik here. And Erik, I've known you also for many years. You and I became Twitter friends first. You came to my aid many times. As I would get the hordes of trolls on me, you helped throw them off, because you know everything about tactics and strategy, because you served our country, and I want to thank you for that. Erik, give me a short little bio.
I am a transplant to Missouri. I got an opportunity back in 2004 when the Iraq War first kicked off to leave home and come to Missouri, and Missouri has provided my family with so much opportunity, and I'm glad to be here. I'm a proud Missourian now, and I do my best and try to give back to this state that's given me so much.
And Erik, like many of the servicemen and women that I interview and talk to all the time, you all are a little reluctant to talk about your service, but I'm going to push you on it. So tell me what branch were you in? What did you do? Just little basics on that.
So I served 11 years in the Army on active duty. I was a captain and served in 3 combat tours in Iraq.
Wow. Well, Erik, hey, let me thank you for everything you do for my family to help keep this nation free.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah, it's really an honor to have you here. So 3 tours in Iraq. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Well, I need to have you back so we can have like a whole hour or something. So what was that like? That's a big question, but what was that like? What was that experience like?
Each tour was very different. My first deployment, I was a replacement platoon leader in Ramadi during the surge in 2007. That was a unique tour. Then I went back in 2009 and 2010 for a year, and That was way different than the first one. We had a change of administration, so a lot of policy changes that affected us on the ground. And then I went back for the counter-ISIS fight, part of the 1st Infantry Division, and that was a very unique deployment in its own right.
So you are currently not in the military. You got an honorable discharge. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now you're going to do something. You're working on I know you're working on a lot of veterans issues. Let me ask you, though, I played that clip from State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert coming in, and she was saying the best advice that she could give Cheri to tell Iran is to stop supporting terrorism around the world. Does it bother you that John Kerry still thinks he's in government and that he's running around like acting like he's some kind of quasi-governmental leader? Does that make it harder for us, do you think, with our foreign policy?
If we're not unified, unity of command is an important strategic aspect of any fight, and the diplomacy aspect of war fighting is something that can't be taken lightly. And if you have somebody who is going to muddy the water, for lack of a better term, it's going to sow chaos, and it's going to make the officials that really are in power, it's going to make their job a lot more difficult to make a deal.
Have you seen, and maybe this is a political question, maybe it's more of just a process question. Have you seen, or have your friends who are still in the military, has there been a difference that they see, feel, hear between the Obama administration foreign policy and the Trump foreign policy?
Absolutely.
Okay, give me some of the highlights on that.
Well, I was my last deployment was between 2014 when ISIS first stormed and almost got to Baghdad, and through June of 15, right when Trump descended the golden staircase or the escalator.
That's right. Yeah.
I came home. I was home 2 days when that happened. We had our hands kind of somewhat tied behind our back, and especially when in January of 2015 when we had the money drop. We had to really pause operations because we didn't know who was on the battlefield, because I see this in a different light. That was almost immediately is when the Popular Mobilization Forces, or now they call them the Hashed, they're the Iranian-backed militia.
Okay.
They became a major player working alongside the Iraqi security forces. So we had to basically cease what we were doing and figure out how are we going to navigate this, because now all of a sudden we have so many players, and if you were to drop ordnance on somebody who worked for the Iranian Quds or Revolutionary Guard, that's their special ops units that were tagging along with the Iraqis, we would be in for hurting.
Yeah, when they say that the President of the United States is the commander-in-chief, Erik, that's not just a term of art, is it? It's an actual chain of command entitlement, that you are that.
Yes, and it didn't matter if it was President Bush, President Obama, President Trump. If they tell you to roll out, you roll out.
Right, gotcha.
It's a nonpartisan thing in the military.
Yeah, I bet, because it doesn't matter who's next to you in that foxhole, so to speak.
That's
right?
who you're going with anyway. You're just doing it to keep each other going.
So let me ask you this: have you criticisms, praise for Donald Trump? Do you like the Trump foreign policy as much as developed over the last 2 years? Where do you think we've done better in? Where do you think we need to improve upon?
Well, I'll tell you this story. I'm going to out myself. I'm a day one Trump supporter, and only because of this. I was a 28-year-old Army captain. I was sitting in on a secure line with Marines that were surrounded out at Al-Assad Air Base, and I had to tell a Marine on the net that I'm waiting on the White House for a decision. I was 28 years old. I don't think I think there's a few people that were next to me, like Lieutenant General Funk, who just changed out of command of Operation Inherent Resolve yesterday. He was more than capable then, and he proved it when he annihilated ISIS once Trump gave him the ball.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's been a major change, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, all my friends that have gone, I'm kind of jealous of them. I wouldn't want to be there for the year that they're doing, being away from my girls, but they had a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again for your service, and I bet you and I could tell stories for the next couple hours. Cheri, let me bring you back in here.
All right.
The Missouri doesn't really back in the old days when your ancestors were first here in their mid 1800s, probably didn't have to worry about what was going on maybe across the oceans too much. But nowadays, you all do things in the Missouri legislature. I know you do. There's trade missions. There's other things you do. I know you passed resolutions regarding your support of Israel. Some international issues do come into the Show Me State every once in a while, don't they?
Absolutely. We have trade agreements. We've had people come in from Taiwan, Canada, and we really appreciated that the Speaker of the House, Todd Richardson, put forth the resolution to support Israel. So, we're on a global market. We export. Our number one product is agriculture, and we help feed the world.
Do you think that, I think President Trump seems to always play the long game. And when he decided that we needed to make some changes to our trade policies, of course, his critics immediately, before the words were even out of his mouth, they said, oh, this is going to be Armageddon. It's going to be the end of the world. All the farmers are going to starve this winter. But all of a sudden, he starts solving the problems of the trade deficits. And I think I bet agribusiness is an important industry in your district. How has small business, how has farming fared over the last couple of years with this? Has this economic boom hit mid-Missouri?
Absolutely. So the Columbia area that I represent, we have about the lowest unemployment in Missouri. It's about 1.45%.
Oh, my gosh.
My district has the industrial corridor in it. We have a huge dairy plant opening up to produce milk. We have an American Outdoor Brand distribution center going up in my district. And I have a fun fact for your listeners. The only place in the whole wide world Oscar Mayer hot dogs are made is my district in Columbia.
How about that? Well,
so, yes, agriculture is so important, but the farmers, we all have hope to, they just need to know that I think President Trump knows what he's doing, and we're going to be getting better deals like with Mexico on other products.
Yeah,
so,
just because we ignored these problems for 30 years doesn't mean we should keep kicking the football down the road, does it?
No, and I look at North Korea and so many other good things he has done around the world, like Erik said, pretty much annihilating ISIS now. It's amazing what he has done in less than 2 years.
Yeah, I think America is stronger and the world is safer, but, who am I to say? We got a guest here that back me up on that. We're going to continue with Missouri State Representative Cheri Reisch and her nephew, Erik Anthes, when we come back here on the Annie Friday.